Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Who Said What podcast. It's your boy DJ and Stephen A. Outside looking silly again. For those who don't remember the COVID period, the dreadful COVID period, jeez almighty, Stephen A. Smith had a lot to say, and not just Stephen A. Smith. Everybody that was in front of a camera on a mic had something to say about anyone who had any kind of discourse, didn't believe the common theme about COVID and what happened if you don't get the vaccine, and or who might be affected because you didn't get the vaccine. Stephen A. Smith took his opportunity to go on ESPN and his platform to, scold these kids, scold these cats. He was out here calling for people's jobs and causing people's integrity. I'm gonna let him get into this apology real quick because like I said, I don't know how many people follow politics, but Dr. Fauci, who was the head orchestrator and all guidelines involving COVID. Yeah, he was in the news. He had to testify up in Congress, and dude didn't answer one question. But these are the people that are supposed to be protecting the free will, the goodwill of the people here in the United States, one of the greatest countries, I personally believe, in the world. I can't speak for anybody else's experience, but I know out of the 7 countries that I've been to, and I lived in Japan for 3.5 years, and Japan is great. But if you took America's presence away from Japan, I don't think they would be able to live the luxury that they have over there. But nonetheless, they ruined, and when I say they, the powers that be, the whole structure of life was completely devastated by COVID. Think about it. Walmart used to be open 24 hours a day. I'm gonna go ahead and let Stephen A. Smith, because I'll talk all day about it, but I'll let him get into what he said about his stance on Kyrie Irving and his apology, half-ass apology, because I don't believe it, to Kyrie Irving.
But this is not about him, the basketball player. This is about him, the man. The reality is that Kyrie Irving, no matter what we think, may have been more right than we have given him credit for, and unquestionably was more vilified than he deserved. And ladies and gentlemen, it starts with me. Keep telling y'all before on many, many occasions, I'm a man. If I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong.
Always wrong.
But when it comes to Kyrie Irving, I can't apologize strongly enough. You know, you may be wondering what I'm talking about because you may not be paying but so much attention to politics. I do. I always have and I always will. Not from an aficionado's perspective, but just as a conscientious observer, watching the news, watching these shows, listening to perspectives, reading the newspapers, etc. I pay attention to some degree. Not an expert. But I watched a gentleman by the name of Dr. Anthony Fauci show up on Capitol Hill. Show up on Capitol Hill just this past Wednesday. And Dr. Fauci was up there, and he was testifying. He was appearing before the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee because they wanted to know specifically about his knowledge in regards to the coronavirus pandemic and what role he may have played, inadvertently or otherwise, in what ravaged this country and this world for over a year, if not longer. 1.2 million.
That's his apology, guys. That's part of his apology. Now, I'll link the video down in the description box below. He goes on to say a whole list of other things and sprinkles in his little bit of apology. But he goes on to sprinkle in a little bit of these apologies to Kyrie Irving, and bro, it's not genuine. No one listening to you believes that it's genuine. This is you covering your ass. This is you speaking out of turn, knowing damn well what he did with his body was his prerogative. Because when you speak about or when it's pertaining to women and their body, Stephen A, you don't have nothing to say. Why? Because you ain't got no control over that. That's a fact. Another fact, you ain't got no control over nobody's body and what they decide to put in it and or not put in it. But you decided to go on. You went on to kill any and everybody who didn't take this vaccine, and it's not just you. Marcus Spears, what's the girl with the big bosoms? Molly. Can't remember her name. I get them all mixed up. It might be Joy. I get them confused. But man, you guys crucified any and everybody for standing in their own personal beliefs, whether it was just religion, whether it was just personal beliefs. You guys took time out of your day, and your corporation decided to take time out of their network to ridicule and humiliate these people for standing firm in their beliefs. Now to fast forward 4 or 5 years later and to know and understand everything that we understand, all the health complications that have came with getting the jab. Bronny James passed out on a basketball court. Can't say for certain if it was 100% related to COVID, but we know of other cases very similar to Bronny James's because of the jab. All the elderly people inside of these nursing homes that were just shoved in there. Hundreds of thousands, millions of people lost their lives because of this vaccine in correlation to the disease, COVID. And then you take into account everything that happened because of COVID. You couldn't go outside. You couldn't visit your family. You couldn't go to school. Your kids are stuck at home. You got to figure out daycare. You couldn't go to work. For some people, that was a plus. For others, that was... Life has been severely altered because of COVID and people like Stephen A. Smith who just go out here and parrot whatever the government or whatever the powers that pay them to say, to think. This was right in the midst of COVID when they aired this episode, but Stephen A. and Jay Will get into a heated debate because Stephen A. has like some type of personal vendetta with Kyrie Irving, and he always has every time he talks. And some would say that he has that kind of energy towards black athletes. I'm tired of... I'm not going down that road. I'm gonna specifically point at each individual case. Stephen A. has done this time and time again with athlete after athlete, and if you look at the record, a lot of them got melanin in their skin tone. Jay Will's gonna hit on this.
Stephen A., because we obviously have this gripe. I have this gripe with you. Because
It's both of us.
Yeah. It's fine. I wrote down some things that you said here.
Sure.
So 3.5 weeks ago, you said it amounts to betrayal for Kyrie. You said, quote, flat out stupid as relates to what he's doing. Quote, bad teammate. Quote, selfish. October 16th on CNN. To the hell with you. You say all of these things about Kyrie Irving, and Kyrie Irving was very upfront and honest about what his situation was. Mm-hmm. He wasn't jeopardizing anybody else. He didn't put anybody else on the Brooklyn Nets and their team at risk. When he was allowed to be around the team, he had his mask on. He abided by all the rules. But he was subject to mass criticism by you, animated criticism by you. Mm-hmm. And then I'm in a green room, and I watch you, and I see your points that you had against Aaron Rodgers, and I appreciate the stance by calling him a liar. I just didn't feel the same venom. I didn't feel the same energy that was associated with Kyrie Irving. And a part of me wonders, why? How come you don't hold Aaron Rodgers to the same, who lied on national, looked reporters in the eye and said, yeah, I'm immunized.
Okay.
Why not? I don't understand that.
I can answer it. You ready?
Yes.
Well, first of all,
I came here to hear your answer.
Okay, well, first of all, number one, I wasn't sitting across from you talking about Aaron Rodgers. I was sitting across from Bart Scott and Dan Orlovsky, who both agreed with me. You and I were arguing, so that might have had something to do with my intensity level.
Okay.
To answer that question directly. That's number one. Number two, let's go down the list about what I'm saying, because, again, I've been on the record. Aaron Rodgers is a liar. Aaron Rodgers to be suspended. Period. I don't know how much stronger I can be than that.
Okay.
Now, that's number 3.
I heard Bart say he should be suspended. I heard you tack on that. I didn't heard you lead.
All right.
No, I hear you, but listen to me.
Right.
When you set arguments now, when you feel passionately about something, you would say he should be suspended.
No. What I'm saying to you is that you and I were getting into an intense argument. Bart Scott, myself, and Dan Orlovsky were agreeing with one another. So what I'm saying is the level of intensity, which is what you brought up, since you were questioning my lack of intensity.
Yes.
I'm telling you why. Now I'm back with you again. Do I sound like I sound with Bart?
It sounds like you're passionate now, like you care.
Because I'm sitting across from you. So again, to make my point, I feel that way about Aaron Rodgers. But let me tell you what the difference is, because you and I, see, this is where everybody gets confused about. They act like we talking about the vaccine. No, we weren't talking about it. The argument was, and to some degree it has something to do with the vaccine, do I believe that Kyrie Irving owes Kevin Durant and James Harden them to be there? You damn right. That's where you and I disagree. Because
I believe a lot of people's biggest problem with Stephen A is you don't ever attack the point or the premise of whoever you're attacking. You always attack the personal person. Not only that, we have seen you throughout history have one stance and then you backtrack. You got another stance and then you backtrack. And you just keep back. Like, bro, you don't stand for it. Like, outside looking in again. And I don't want to be disrespectful. And I hope I'm not being disrespectful with this comment. But bro, you don't seem genuine. Yeah, you got the rah-rah and the passion. Like, yeah, we see all the animation and the antics. Like, yeah, that's good for entertainment. But the genuine nature behind you doesn't always seem genuine, man. And that's where I feel like a lot of people have pushback on you. And bro, you honestly be doing a lot when it comes to black athletes. I ain't gonna lie to you, dog. That's every time you come on camera, your energy towards a darker demographic is higher. And I could be wrong. And like I don't believe you racist, bro. I'm not racist. I don't live in a racist mindset. However, I believe that you understand what happens when you go at black folks more aggressively than you do white folks. And I believe you just playing the game the way that it's been structured. Because that, for whatever reason, that sells, that gets clicks. But y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comment section below. That's it for this video. I'm out of here, man. I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hype the video. And that's it, man. Y'all be easy.